better. Hey everyone, Darren Eastman here, Product Manager for GitLab Runner again, and I'm joined by Gina Doyle, UX Designer for GitLab Runner. This is the 14.5 kickoff video. I'm going to hand it over to Gina so she can walk us through all of the great things that are happening in the Runner Enterprise Management in the UI and user experience space. Now I'll come back and talk about the things that we're doing in RunACore. So Gina.
Sure. I'm going to share my screen and we'll look through some of the issues for 14.5 in the UX area. So in 14.4, we were able to get a lot of good amount of design work done. So for this milestone, now we'll turn to validating those solutions. So a big issue that we'll be looking at is solution validation for improving runner configuration details. And the other two that we have on the list are to make additional improvements to the larger design issues we already took on. So one of them is around improving the consistency and breakdown of runner statuses in the admin view. We did some additional enhancements to the admin view table for runners today, but there are some inconsistencies with how we're representing statuses throughout the runner areas, depending on what level you're in. So we're going to just make sure that that is more consistent moving forward. And then the next one is improving the messages after you delete a runner. So you can delete individual runners today, but you're not given a success message if that is successful or if there was an error. It's not really providing a great amount of information to be able to fix that error. So we're going to look at that as well. And those two issues came from the UX scorecard evaluation that we did a few milestones back as well. So we know that that will greatly improve the usability of the whole runner workflow, which will be good. I'll give it back to you, Darren.
If I can unmute my mic, that's super, Gina. And yeah, for folks that are looking at this for these kickoff videos for the first time, or maybe looking at these kickoff videos for a second or third time, and just trying to get a bit of context in terms of where things are at. Yeah, we're still in the middle of doing a bunch of the foundational work. And so we haven't yet started to the point where we're pivoting to in terms of delivering net new features, capabilities. But as we move into the back end of this year, and more likely more early next year, you'll start seeing some of these changes starting to show up. And again, along the lines of towards the sort of end goal of improving, right, the runner administration and experience. What are the admin level first, obviously, and then we have to also think about the group level for GitLab SaaS, which is a key priority for us as well. So thanks, Gina. Really quickly, for RunACore, which again is the sort of the core runner code base, let me share my screen out really fast, since I am not sharing my screen right now, so everyone can at least hopefully see this. So for RunACore, a couple of things are going on, and we've kind of changed the layout of the iteration plan, as you probably just saw a second ago on Gina's screen. When you go to the iteration plan now, you'll see it segmented under the RunACore section in terms of bugs, and then the second subheading is features. So under the bugs subheading, there are a couple of there are a few bugs that we're working on delivering. The first one that's on there, we talked about it for the last 2 releases. It's the gnarly Kubernetes executor ignoring Docker entry point bug. There's an active MR under review for that bug. So my hope and goal is that we get MR reviewed and actually get that bug finally wrapped up in 14.5. There's also another Kubernetes bug as well, as you can see here on the list. This one is specific to the Kubernetes Windows nodes, and has an issue with that the nodes would fail unless you set the shell as PWSH. You can drill into that bug and see a bit more details. Active work is happening on this one, so we hope to clean it up as well. So 2 Kubernetes bugs are on deck for 14.5, and then we have 2 other bugs as well. One is relating to a passing error that has to do with a UMass feature that we delivered a few releases back. And the last one is a long-standing bug that we had related to 4.9 conflicts and the runner. I really hope that we can make some serious traction, if you will, on the 4.9 conflict bug, and hopefully deliver this in 14.5. And then just to kind of give everyone some additional context, earlier on this year, Jackie Porter, our group product manager, for the verify stage, one of the OKRs that we set was around reducing the backlog of P2 bugs across the entire verify stage. We made some progress on that on the Runner team side, and we continue to make progress. We're not quite there, but you will continue to see this emphasis each iteration on ensuring that we're focused on reducing that backlog of long-standing P2 bugs. Our end goal is to get to a state where as new bugs come in, especially ones that are tagged as P2 or higher, that we're able to get those through the life cycle within our SLO targets. And then in terms of features, the first one on the feature list here is related to Kubernetes. We've talked about this for the last couple of milestones. It's a super complex feature, and that's why it's taken a bit of milestones to deliver. It's around having the ability to clean up Kubernetes resources once a job is complete. And so this particular feature is around creating a schedule cleaner to ensure that all the Kubernetes resources are correctly cleaned up. And so we won't have issues with pods hanging around after job execution is complete. I'm going to skip the other Kubernetes feature that's already actually in the code base because it was community contribution, and go to the GitLab Runner operator for OpenShift. Earlier on this week, there's a great bit of announcement around the fact that the actual GitLab itself is now available as an operator on Red Hat. The GitLab Runner operator for Red Hat has also been available as well for a few months now. So both of those products are GA. You have GitLab and you have the GitLab Runner as operators for Red Hat OpenShift. And what we're doing here for the GitLab Runner operator is now looking to release a version of that operator specifically for PPC64 LE compute architectures, or otherwise supporting IBM Power 9 and also Power 10 systems. So PPC64 LE, GitLab Runner operator for OpenShift, extends our platform capabilities as it relates to GitLab Runner. And this is, again, specifically to the OpenShift platform. And then finally, the other main feature I want to call your attention to under the RunACore category that we'll be looking to work on in 14 and 5 is the first iteration. We actually have 2 iterations planned in order to deliver a FIPS compliant GitLab Runner. And this particular work is in support of a very important Q4 FY22 Chief Product Officer and Chief Technology Officer OKR goal. So RunACore, we've got a couple of Kubernetes features on deck. We've got the Power 9 or PPC64 LE GitLab Runner operator on deck in 14.5, and then we're starting the first iteration of FIPS compliance, and get it out correctly, for GitLab Runner in 14.5, and that's RunACore. In terms of Runner Cloud, we don't have any features planned to ship in 14.5. The Mac OS or the GitLab Runner, the GitLab Cloud for Mac OS beta is ongoing. And so we've gotten a lot of good feedback on that. And so if you're interested in participating, that is still open, that's still ongoing. In a couple of next kickoff videos, we'll talk a bit more in terms of our plans for moving that offering from beta to GA and what it all means for your customers and user community. So that's it for the GitLab Runner 14.5 Runner Team Iteration Plan. Gina, any parting comments before we hang it up today?
Nope.
Well, everyone, have a great rest of the weekend. It's Thursday afternoon here. This is Darren Eastman signing off along with Gina Doyle. We'll talk to you next time. Cheers.